Go, Phil.
Oh,
Say
Phil
something.
Miller back. I got no warning from Will that we were back on. Oh, how are you? Glad we
Hey,
have listeners now. Had no idea that I was starting. I was looking at other things. This is our predictions episode for, I don't know what episode number. What episode
episode
number is it,
six.
Will? Episode
Man,
6. I was
Phil,
so
you
unprepared.
are dropping the ball.
I'm doing my research, and Will just puts me on live. Um, okay. I mean, this is it. We had the tribe swap last week. We have now 2 tribes of 6. Julia's coming in, joining up Blue, who I guess could be called Chan Lo. I guess they could be called whatever the other tribe's name is. I'm not sure which tribe it is,
Yeah.
but they're Blue.
We did terribly last recap about like naming the tribes. We would say this
They're
tribe, the other
actually
tribe. Yeah, we didn't say their names or their colors. So I think we stick with colors, yellow and blue.
and Julia's actually joining Yellow, right?
That is
Or is it
correct.
the other
She's
way
on the
around?
yellow tribe. The original beauty
Yellow.
tribe is yellow. And then we have the original brains is the blue. That's where we have. Well, yeah. Let's go through the tribes just so we know where we're at here. So on that blue tribe, we have Sydney and Kyle, and then we have Neil. Neil, right?
Neil and Debbie.
Neil and Debbie, and then we have Michelle and Nick.
The Greek god.
Okay, now you do the yellow tribe.
Yellow tribe, we got Peter, Aubrey, Joe. We got Scott and Ty, and we got Julia joining up after her little exile type deal. So she'll be coming in. And if anybody saw the preview, it looks like Peter's trying to work Julia a little bit. And this could be, hopefully this is something, because I think this tribe's probably going to lose again. They're weaker all around. They're worse at puzzles. They're worse physically. They probably got weaker losing Anna and getting Julia back. So I don't really see them pulling off a win here. But I hope that we get to see one of these brains go home. I think I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm rooting for here. Keep it interesting.
Yeah, usually we can kind of pick, when it's down to 2 tribes, like, okay, we know who's going to go to tribal council. I don't know this week, though. I could see either way, especially with our previews. We get a good amount of Debbie and Nick. We got a good amount of Michelle saying she needs to make an alliance. I mean, there have been a couple previews out over the weekend. We're getting a lot of both tribes. Like you said, we got a lot of Peter and Joe. They're talking. Julia's in the mix. So I'm not going to base my power rankings on assuming one tribe's going to win. I'm going to kind of put the people that are on the bottom of each tribe at the bottom, and we'll see how that works out. I think I'm fairly back in the power rankings. I need to make some moves this week.
Yeah, you're 7 points back. This is a tough week for me because I've been putting Michelle at number 1 every single week, and it's really hard to put Michelle at number 1 this week. I mean, she has a very legitimate chance to go home this week if her tribe loses.
She does. I think that whole tribe is the hardest to figure out just because it is 2, 2, 2. Obviously, it appeared last week that Kyle and Sydney were in the middle. They're deciding whether they're going to go with the brains or go with the beauties. But from the previews, we have so much it seems like they're all mixed together now. It's all kind of interlinking, interconnecting. Who knows how the alliance will eventually shake out. They'd only been together for a few days last episode. They're going to actually spend the whole 3 days, and that can change so many things as we see often in this game. So I don't know. I'm kind of worried. How about, I'm going to kick it off at number 1. I'll start. I'm going to go with, I guess I'm going to go with Aubrey. I'm going to go with Aubrey at number 1. I think if a brain goes home from that tribe, it's going to be Joe or it's going to be Peter. I think she is like playing a great game in the background game. Just no one's thinking about her, looking at her. I think she can talk to the beauty people. She can talk to Scott. She's kind of just in good with everybody and not in a way that's threatening. I think she just kind of is playing that, under the radar game really well.
I feel like she's almost playing Sophie-esque, where it's like nobody's really paying attention to her as a threat to win. And she's kind of got like her alliance is working. She's got a little bit of her finger in everything, and she's so behind the scenes. Nobody's really looking at her as like a legitimate threat to win the game. And I think Aubrey's playing a really, really good game. I like that you put her there. I have her lower down. I mean, I really don't know who I'm going to put it. Like, I have my number 1. I'm not going Michelle this week because that's just power ranking suicide. I'm only beating you by 7. I don't want to give you any type of hope because you made us change the rules this year, and I want to make sure I still beat
We
you.
didn't
But
change
like,
the rules. The rules were the same. We just started an episode later, like literally every single other Survivor Power Rankings works.
but you used it as an excuse, man.
I
You
was a
did.
joke.
Now I got to make sure I beat you.
It was a joke. I was just
I
having
know.
fun.
Am I joking now and having fun, or
No,
am
'cause you
I
say
like
this every
really
week.
insulting you?
You
I
are
know.
insulting me. You say this every week. Oh, we'll change the rules. It's like, say it once. We get it. It's funny. Let's move on.
I don't know, man. It seems like it really bothers you. It really does. So I'm going to keep bringing it up until it doesn't bother you anymore. Or you know the easiest way to shut somebody up, right? Well, what's the easiest way to shut them up?
Punch him in the face.
To beat them. To beat them. Oh yeah, well that's probably the way you were brought up. But normally you just beat the person and then that's it. You know, then they can't talk anymore. But you'd rather punch somebody in the face. Very mature. I'm going at number 1. I'm going Kyle. He's got an idol. I think he's in a good spot, and I wouldn't be surprised. Here's what I kind of think could happen here. It seems like this whole Nick Debbie thing where Debbie's calling him the Greek god and all of this stuff, and they're kind of getting close. I could see Kyle pulling a fast one on somebody like Nick because he thinks that Nick is just being too much of a threat to people that he sees himself as being aligned with. Or he could pull a fast one on Debbie if he does decide to go with the beauties, because it does seem like Kyle and Sydney are in the middle. And I feel like Kyle's smart enough that he's going to be able to sniff out if he is going to be on the bottom and he would play his idol. I got Kyle at 1. It's the idol, man. Like it's too powerful right now. And I think he's too smart and too kind of crazy to get voted out with one in his pocket, at least now.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good call. Anyway, we have 3 people with idols now. I don't see Kyle going out. I didn't have my power rankings figured out just because we just decided to do this so quickly. We're watching basketball today, so we're kind of squeezing this in. I think VCU Oklahoma just started, so we don't want to
Oklahoma's already killing them. So
they are okay. So this is the game to miss, but maybe the second half will be better. I have Kyle at number 2. That idol is huge. You can't put this guy that low, especially because he's gotten such a huge edit. It seems like he's the swing vote on that tribe, and he has the idol. It's like everything is coming up gold for Kyle right now. I would be shocked if he were to go home.
Yeah, I would be shocked too, and I would go right into my number 2. I got Ty because he's got an idol, and it really seems like Ty fit in well last week. It seemed like Scott. He said he had a man crush on him. He's getting Julia back, and it seems like the brains Peter doesn't like the other 2. And I feel like there's going to be some sort of division here. Ty's never going to get his name written down. He's got the idol. The only way that he could is if Scott tries to pull one on him. But like Scott said, he wants these idols to merge together because it benefits him. And then he knows where 2 idols are. So he's not going to try to pull a fast one on Ty here because the reason last week was, I want to know where all the idols are. So why would he get rid of Ty this week? Just doesn't make any sense. He wants to see the super idol be made. I got to tie it too. I think he's fine.
I think he's fine too, but man, how many times has he now said the idol in the pocket? And I know it's kind of like he survived it once last week, so he's probably going to be okay. He'll know when to use it. But is Scott the only one that knows out of the people remaining on that tribe about the idol?
That's it. Because the only other one who knew was Anna, and she's gone.
So what if the brains on that tribe, they say we're going to vote Ty, and they tell Scott, like, we have 3. You can't break up this 3. We're solid 3, even though it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Let's just say it does. You have Peter, Joe, Aubrey sticking together. The only option is for Rocks or to vote with them if you're Scott, really. And they say they're aiming at Ty. What does Scott say? Does he tell Ty to play his idol? I mean, that could happen. Or he says, you know what, let's flush this idol. I don't want it. It could be used against me. I know we said that super idol thing, but it's always nice to get the idols out of the game. I don't know if they're going to re-hide idols again at these tribes, especially with the merge looming. So I don't know. I could see if that kind of once one person knows you have an idol, it really can spiral out of control. Everyone knows you do, and then they try to flush it. So I don't have him that high.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Scott really wants this idol to stick around, and I think he wants to see this super idol be used because I think he thinks it's gonna benefit him. So I don't know. I think that it's okay. I think that Ty is super safe here. I don't think he gets voted out with it in his pocket now. I could see him getting voted out with it in his pocket later. It's not gonna happen now.
Yeah, I hear you. I totally hear you. I just I wish we knew the rules to the super idol, like the whole breakdown of can multiple people have it and then just one of them play it when they get voted off. You know what I mean? I wish we knew that. Has Jeff said anything about this, kind of informing us on the rules?
No, I don't think he has. I think that the only thing he said was that you can put them together. I'm not sure if, like, I don't know if, like, you can put them together after the fact, if it has to be used together before. Like, I know that it's going to be played after the vote. That's the point of the Super Idol. But I'm saying, like, I don't know if you have to put them together beforehand. I think that they can just give it to somebody. I do think that's allowed. I think that they can put the two together and give it to whoever they want after they're voted out. But I don't know if you have to put them together beforehand or if it's something that can just be done after tribal, where it's like, look, I have this idol. It's somebody else. It's like, look, I have this idol. Let's play it for tie.
Yeah, if you can just give it to anybody once they're voted out, it's pretty much, I mean, it is so powerful. It is super duper powerful. I mean, you have an alliance of 5 people. You have one of these super idols, and let's say you're going up a 6-person alliance or something. It's like, it's unstoppable. You just flip the whole game. So we'll see.
I think that's what Survivor wants at this point. I think that they're just totally on to they want to see as many switch ups as possible. They want to have it all kind of planned. They don't want any more Pagong games. They don't want to see like another Pagong ever. So I think that this is something that would kind of prevent that, and they're okay with it completely turning the game on its head.
Good. Yeah, no, I'm for it. I'm excited to see it play out. I'm not against it. Obviously be against it if you didn't have to put 2 together and someone just found one like Tony. So I like this version way more. At number 3, I have Neil. He's got the idol. I could see him being a target, but I think he can kind of sense the room a little bit. Like if he's going home, he can play his idol. I don't know. I doubt he seems like the guy. He's not going to tell anyone he has it. And if that's the case, if he can keep it quiet, no one's going to assume Neil has it and then try to flush it. So I think, it seems like he has an okay relationship with Debbie. He can talk to everyone else. He's pretty strong at puzzles, strong at challenges. So I think he'll probably be okay.
Yeah, and I have Neil at 3 as well, literally for everything you just said. Like, I mean, you just hit it all on the head. I mean, he's so well-rounded right now. It's just, is he going to be too weird for some of these people? But he has the idol, so I'm not worried about him at all right now. I got my 3 idol people right in the front.
I got at 4, I have Scott. And I think he fits in really well with Ty. And if you fit in well with Ty, you'll probably get along with Julia, or at least, appear that way. And then he was pretty much with the brains in voting. Like he voted Anna. I mean, they all voted for Anna. Even Ty voted for Anna. But he seemed to be, they like trusted him. He did great at the challenge. If you lose, you probably don't want to get rid of your best challenge guy. I mean, he just him pulling that thing through the water. I mean, you don't want to vote that guy out. His social game is way more impressive than I thought it ever could be. So I have Scott at number 4.
Yeah, I have Scott at 4 too. It's weird. I guess it's just because last week was kind of telling where people stand, like initially, and I think Scott is in a great swing position because he can go with the beauties if he can somehow pull something, but he can also just sit there and side with the brains and just vote out Julia if they just want to vote out Julia this week. I don't think Scott's name ever gets brought up here. I think he's fine. So I have him at 4 too. He has a lot of knowledge in this game. I mean, him saying with the idols, he knows Kyle has one. He knows Ty has one. He knows really the alliances from the entire Brawn tribe. Now he knows kind of the alliances for the beauties. He kind of knows what's going on with the brains. I mean, he's really got a lot of knowledge in this game right now.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scary.
At 5, I have Ty. I just have him a little lower than you in the off chance that they try to flush it, they blindside him. I mean, it would be a pretty epic blindside for one of the most favorite players that we've had in a long time. I mean, who are the general fan base? Are they more with Ty or Debbie right now?
I think they're more with Ty. I think Ty's the most. I think too many people find Debbie to be weird, or I don't think people have completely bought into Debbie. I think Debbie freaks more people out. I don't think Ty really rubs anybody the wrong way.
Right, and when you have Caleb the rancher crushing with Ty, and then the 7-foot giant basketball player who we saw bowling people, he loves Ty. It's no matter who you are, you can love Ty. It's general, just it's like food. Everyone loves food. Everyone loves Ty.
Yeah.
So I got him at 5.
I got Debbie at 5, and this is kind of a little high because but I think she's just been such a big character, and I do think that. I know last week it looked like the Brawns were going to be the ones who decided where are we going to go, and I know I put Kyle up high because I think that he is going to be able to sniff out something here and maybe pull a fast one. But I do think Debbie is in a really good position here where She started making her ins with Nick. She started making her ins with Kyle and Sydney. She's already got her in with Neil. And I'm not sure if her and Michelle ever tried to really work together, but it seems like she's able to really kind of bounce around a lot, and she does get it. And I feel like they showed her at the beginning as being a little like unself-aware, but I think she's totally self-aware. I think she knows exactly how she's playing this game. She came across as dumb, but I mean, she's shown she knows exactly what she's doing out there, I feel like. And I think that they're playing her up for a pretty good run in this game, and I like where she's at.
Yeah, I agree. I totally, completely agree. She's playing an awesome game. I really didn't – the premiere, I was really kind of turned off to her. Second episode, didn't even get much from her. But that, man, the first time they went to tribal council, I mean, she was saying the right things to the camera, right things to people's faces. She has a connection with pretty much everyone except Michelle, like you said. Like, she's playing an awesome game. I'm now a Debbie fan. I'm a Debbie fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think Debbie's following – I know we said this – I said this at the beginning. I think she's following that Kathy from Marquesas type arc where she starts off so weird and people are like, well, there's your first boot. And then she's able to get one person aside with her, and then she's able to get two people aside. And all of a sudden, she might be a favorite to win this entire game. And I really like her. I mean, she's out there. She's weird, but she's really, really smart, and I like that. And I didn't think she was going to be as smart as she's coming across. I know she was on the Brains tribe and all that, but I thought she was going to come across as so just out there, but she's got a good mix of it all. I'm using her as my eliminator pick this week too.
I didn't even think about the eliminator pick. So now I hate when this happens. I got to think about it as we go through. It's always tough. Because we're on Debbie, I'll just say I have her at 7, just one after. I like her spot. It's just that she's one of those players. She can go at any week just because they are going to build her up until she goes home. Like, she is such great TV. She's gonna be getting a big edit every episode. Like, I can't really sit here and say, you know, I don't think she's gonna go super deep because she's getting heavily edited. It's like Varner last season. It's like he was such great TV. He went out episode 4. So that's always possible with Debbie. At number 6, I have Sydney, just because I mean, we talked about this a ton on our predictions episode last week. The bronze players at this point, they're pawns for the Brain and Beauty tribe, at least until the numbers get more whittled down. But we're sitting at, you know, there are 4 beauties, 5 brains. There's only 3 bronze. I mean, those are votes you want. Sydney seems to be doing great with Debbie. She's in with Kyle. She's been loyal to Kyle. I don't see why they would really target Sydney.
Yeah, and I have Sydney at 6 as well. And I was doing a little bit of research here, and it was I was looking at the confessional count for this season because I know it's kind of been all over the place and it's really kind of hard to see who's getting the winners out of here. Debbie's had a confessional every episode. Kyle's had a confessional every episode.
Ty.
Those might be the only Ty and Peter. Those 4 and Sydney. And Sydney is by far, to me, the most shocking out of those 5. Because here's somebody who we even said, I think it was episode 2 when Jenny was about to go home. It was like Sydney was in this power position and she wasn't really getting anything. But she got one confessional there at the very end. And since then, she's gotten a confessional in every episode. It doesn't mean as much as most people think it does. But man, it's like, how is she, like, she doesn't seem, if you're looking at this season, I don't think she's one of the 5 biggest characters on here. But she is one of the only 5 people that has had a confessional in every single episode. And I think that's great. I mean, you know, I think that really speaks to kind of the subtlety to how they might almost be hiding her as a winner here. Like, where people are just so focused on all these other huge personalities. And here comes Sydney, and she wins the whole thing. So I got her at 6. I think she's in a fantastic position. It's
definitely possible that she wins this game. My only problem with her is that, like, she's going to be viewed as a threat down the line. I mean, she is incredibly fit. She's physical. She can win challenges. And then everyone seems to like her. It's like she gets along with everybody. You start whittling down numbers at the merge, that's someone you want to take out. So I like her a lot. Sure. She is in a good spot. It's going to be tough for her to, like, get to that finals. So
it will.
Who do you have at 7?
And then at 7, I have Aubrey. So we pretty much have the same top 7, just in like a different order. But at 7, I have Aubrey. I really do think she's playing an underrated game. I think Aubrey's like a really underrated player, like, right now. I did not expect her to be as good as she is. I kind of thought she was going to be weak and kind of panned her out and be the first person voted out of the Brains. Not happening at all. And right now, she's probably, other than Neil, I mean, she's probably the second best chance to win from the Brains tribe. I know a lot of people might say Debbie. I think Debbie's in a great spot, but I don't see Debbie as a winner. I see her as like a just barely missing out. But like, man, this Aubrey is playing like a solid game right now. She's playing a very, very good game.
Yeah, I got her at number 1. And just because we don't hear from her that much doesn't mean, it's like you said with Sophie, we did not hear from her all that much, but she was just hanging around. I mean, the game is called Survivor. The goal is to survive. It's not called big moves. So I know Jeff says that you got to make big moves. That I think you got to make those moves kind of later in the merge. She's playing a great pre-merge game. Just make it to the merge. That's your first goal. Once you hit there, then you can kind of pick up steam. Let's see.
I don't know how this feels to you, but I'm wondering here with you. This to me almost has like a heroes versus villains type vibe where it starts off where the pre-merge is crazy and there's like a lot of strange type episodes where people are getting confessionals here and people are getting confessionals there, but like there's not always a rhyme or reason to it. Like Michelle has missed 2 episodes, Aubrey's missed an episode or 2, Scott's missed an episode. You got people like Kyle, Deb, like I said, all those people who have had confessionals every episode. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a season where somebody's edit really picks up post-merge like Sandra's did want to win the game. Because Sandra had nothing pre-merge. She had like 1 or 2 things. I think it was like with the whole Russell, looking for the idol and then the Courtney boot episode. But other than that, she really had nothing pre-merge. And I'm kind of getting that vibe here where this might be somebody taking off post-merge with a great edit that wins it. Because right now I'm not getting a real winner vibe from anybody out there. I don't know. I could see that happening.
No, I do. I love this. I've said it a bunch. The editing this season has been just awesome. It's been incredible. I see exactly what you're saying. I wish this would happen. I wish that this happened for 32 straight seasons because then we don't have to look at confessionals. We don't have to look at editing. And it's kind of like, tell us what happened this 3 days on the island. Just tell us that. And then we'll see what happens. The winner will pop out. And I mean, I know we like looking at like the narrative and they're going to tell like a story and have kind of themes and heroes, villains, all that stuff. But I love it when it's, kind of chaotic, just a mishmash pot of, like Carolyn in Worlds Apart getting 11 in the first episode and we didn't hear from her. I love that kind of stuff. And I know Worlds Apart was probably the worst edited season, but I love the peaks and valleys, the ebb and flow of, the crazy editing.
Yeah, I like when people each get like their own episode, especially people that are going to make it deep in this game and go post-merge. Like I like when they each get like their shining episode. And I that really was a big thing, in the earlier seasons, and it kind of tapered off probably around Samoa. That's really when it really, really went to shit. And I really like the way this is going right now where, the 12 people left, really not going to be shocked if any of them win except Joe or Julia. Peter would shock me just because everybody dislikes him so much. But, that's like a pretty solid like 8 or 9 people that I could really like, wow. Yeah, of course they won the game. You know what I mean? Like at the end of it, I could see it being like, wow, they really built the storyline that made this make sense. Maybe Nick's a little bit on the outside, but like somebody's edit could really pick up here because the Beauties never went to tribal. The Brains only went once. So like it's not like they got as much screen time as these Brawn people did. And other than Sydney, I don't think the other 2, they're not favorites to me. So like you could get somebody from Brains or Beauty who just didn't have much of an edit, and now all of a sudden they pick up, and it makes sense because they didn't have to do much pre-merge.
Yeah, of course. And that's what I like too. We don't have heavy front runners for winners this season. And it makes it much more fun to talk. At this point in Second Chance, it was like, I think Jeremy and Spencer were definitely the 2 front runners. Maybe Wentworth was in there, but that was like consistent until the finale. Was like 3 people that could win, and it was the same 3 people. It could go any which way.
Yeah, I think it was just those 3, but the thing that worked out for Survivor that season was 3 of them were in the final 4. So
right.
We didn't get like a crap finale because we didn't really know who was going to win. We just knew Kimmy and Keith weren't going to win. We didn't know out of the other 4, So, you want to go on to number 8? Your number 8, my number 8?
At
I don't
8,
care. Whoever wants
I have Michelle. Because she had absolutely the most amazing, greatest episode ever last week.
You're going to make everybody hate you now. Okay, guys, let's talk about this real quick because I have Michelle at number 8 too. And like we got a comment on the last video, and I like look through these every now and then.
I think there were multiple.
My day, or if There's multiple, but there was one that really, 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 like, I was like, come on, guys. Like, just listen to what we said. Here we go. Vincent D. I mean, this is the one that, like, we defended ourselves here. Completely puzzled by Phil's claim that Michelle played a stellar game in this episode. I never said that. Really? She was not shown doing anything remotely strategic, nor does she deserve credit for keeping herself in the game. She stayed in the game because her tribe won the challenge, and they won the challenge because of Neil most of all. In fact, all 6 members of Chandlo, Michelle was the least impressive during the challenge. I know Michelle is his winner pick, but still, I'd be concerned about her prospects considering how little strategic play we've seen from her so far. She might make it to the end, but she's done nothing so far to win the game. I never, ever, 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 ever said that she played a stellar game last. Said it bodes well for her edit. She had a great episode for somebody who didn't go based on edit. She's not even close to being an MVP for last week. Not even remotely close to being an MVP for last week. But she didn't go to Tribal. They gave her an underdog storyline where it's like, man, she could go home. And then it ends up her alliance mate goes home because the 3 of them all get split up, Julia, Anna, Michelle. Michelle gets to sneak by because her tribe doesn't go. And she gets 3 confessionals about, like, in an episode where she doesn't need any. That's what I was saying. I never once said she played a stellar game. Don't put words in my mouth. And I think we defended this on the last podcast. I think I said almost the exact same thing. She had a great episode for somebody who did not go to Tribal Council.
And somebody that really we didn't need to hear from. I mean, the swing people on that tribe, it was Kyle and Sydney. I mean, I can see, Kyle or Sydney getting 3 confessionals. Look, we're in a position of power here. We just came from this really lame tribe. It's been a rough, 12 days. We're out here on a new tribe. Tables have turned. We're feeling good. I could see that. Michelle, I mean, there was no need for her to have that many confessionals, and that's what we're saying. They're building up for a reason. It is possible that she could go this week. That's why we have her lower than usual. I do have her at number 8 just because she is a threat. I mean, it seems like she was, really tight with the beauty girls. They didn't lose a challenge. I think that still kind of is in people's minds that, wow, that beauty tribe never had to go to Tribal. Obviously, they're down 2 members now, but I could see her being a threat. I just think Nick, Peter, and Joe, they rub people the wrong way so much more than, Julia or Michelle. So I think it's going to be one of those 3, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think those are my bottom. Well, I have Julia down there too. But, yeah, I mean, Michelle, she's my winner pick. And I think the response to that comment was actually by, Fire and Ice. She's hot. Obviously, that means winner's edit. Winner's edit at all. Obviously, I've overplayed her winner's edit a bit because I had her as my winner's pick, and it's always fun to be right. And, me putting her at number 1 on my power rankings every week up till now is just because she was my winner's pick. But I moved her now because I know she's in trouble. She could easily go home this week. But, oh, my God. See, here we go. Here we go again. Here's on Twitter. We just get this one from Brony Enthusiast. And, this is Giovanni Oriana. He says, hang on. This just came through. And we just explained this. Oh, my God. Giovanni, hang on.
How do you shut him up?
We're going to get to this if my computer ever goes.
What's your
But
tactic?
I can't beat him here. I can't beat him. He goes, Michelle playing an amazing game, ? Come on, that's overkill. She's no Kim. She's not doing too much. Is it because she's hot? Did we say she's playing an amazing game? When did we say she's playing an amazing game? We never said that.
She's done nothing, but we're still hearing from her, and that's why it bodes well for her edit. They're telling us about her. I feel like we're hearing I think we're pissing off the silent majority here that just knows exactly what we're saying, and we have 1 or 2 people commenting. So let's not dwell on this too much.
It's just I think she literally just was said after we just explained it. That's what just hit me.
Well, maybe they're not listening live. Maybe they're a little, lagged behind a little bit. All right, so who do you got at 9?
All right, at 9, oh, frick, I just clicked the wrong thing. At 9, I have Nick. I think Nick could definitely go this week if that tribe goes. I'm basing this more on I don't think that tribe's going to go, so my bottom 3 are all from the other one. But all of a sudden, Nick is getting shown in previews after really not being shown at all. That could mean that he kind of just gets booted here. He might get a little too arrogant. I could see somebody like Kyle being like, oh, well, he's getting a little too close to Debbie. I want to stay close to Debbie. Let's weaken this. We can get rid of a strong guy right before the merge. I could see Kyle totally pulling something like that. So I do worry for Nick, but I don't think that tribe's going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick the tribe that's going to lose, it will definitely be the yellow tribe that we saw lose last week. However, I'm going to go Joe at number 9 just because we see Peter and Joe get into an altercation, and Peter has just been played up as like maybe the dumbest smart person in the history of the world. Like, we had Drew Christie, he was dumb, but he was a dumb guy. Peter is a dumb smart guy. Like, he's a surgeon, like ER doctor or whatever. For him to be as dumb as he is, it's amazing. I think that he has a better chance to go than Joe this week if they do target a brain. I already said I think Aubrey is pretty much safe because she's not going to get in the mix with that kind of the controversy and the arguments. So I have Joe at 9. I think if a brain goes from that tribe, it's going to be Peter. If it's not a brain, it'll be Julia. So
yeah, I have Joe at 10. I don't think Joe's really in that much trouble, but I keep him low just because still he's old and people might want to get rid of him. But it seems like everybody kind of likes Joe, other than it seems like the fight's going to be between Joe and Peter here. And nobody's going to side with Peter on that. And plus, this is an opportunity. People know the merge is coming. So, like, you don't think you're going to lose too much. And if you get rid of Peter this week and you still don't merge and you lose again, then you could get rid of Joe. But I don't think that he's going to go this week. It just seems like Peter's definitely the one who's in way more trouble than Joe. I feel like Joe, he's not really long for this so much, but, like, I don't know. I feel like Aubrey likes him. I think that the beauties will end up siding with him or at least try to pull the numbers. I don't think really anybody's going to side with Peter too much unless they really need Peter to turn this game on its head. And then Joe goes home. So that's why I still have Joe at 10.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'll kill mine. I got Julie at 11, Peter at 12. The only reason I have Julie at 11 is because I fear that her coming in, if the brains really do stick together, they're going to vote her out because Ty can't go and they're not going to vote out Scott. So they would vote out Julia pretty much the same way they just did to Anna. And then I got Peter at 12 because I think that this is finally the end for Peter.
Yeah, I have Peter at 12 also. I have – wait a second. I have Julia at 10, and then I have at 11 I have Nick. So not completely. I mean, we're kind of mixed up a little bit. We're just kind of one off from each other. Yeah, it would be pretty lame if Julia went. I could see it happening, and this would be that like really boring episode with a really predictable boot, which would not be fun. I would love to see 3 brains tribe, 3 people on that tribe, all brains, them split up and turn on each other. That would be much more fun to see. I hope Peter goes. It's not that I don't like watching him. It's just I like so many other people on this tribe. Like for Julia to go, it's almost like how Anna went last week and just how this like beauty tribe just kind of fell apart with a lot of circumstances that weren't necessarily their fault. So I'd rather see someone like Peter go who is, he's on the bottom, or we have him so low for a reason. Like he's not playing a good game. I like to see people right. Yeah. I like to see people get rewarded for good gameplay and not just go out because, was unlucky.
Yeah, exactly. You want to call out your eliminator pick here before we forget? You want to do this?
Who have I used so far? I always forget.
You have used Caleb, Jenny, Scott, Neil, and Peter. By the way, Jenny's not in anymore, in case you forgot.
Scott, Neil, and Peter. Let's go. Oh, I'll go with Neil this week. Did I use Neil?
Yeah, you used Neil. Scott, Neil, and Peter.
I'll go with Sydney this week.
Okay.
I feel good about that. I like Sydney.
Okay, cool. So there we go. We have it. Who were the MVPs and LVP as well? Did we get that?
I don't know. I think Neil got a vote. I think it should be Neil or Scott. I just think Scott controlled what happened with that vote yet, and it's just so hard to judge whether that move was going to benefit him or not. But he controlled that vote. Like Ty was gonna play his idol, and then he could have played it on Anna, but then he convinced him not, to keep it. He was in with both sides. He was kind of the leader of like how that vote kind of shook out. So even though it was just him, like he had no one else on his tribe, and he still made that happen. So I think Scott would be like my nomination, but I don't know if that was the smartest move.
I just looked at it. It looks like Neil got more votes.
Okay, we'll go with Neil. That's fine.
Okay, so Neil's MVP. I don't think there was really an
Peter.
Peter. As weird as that is, I don't think anybody really voted. Peter.
I think we got to give it to Peter.
You just love giving it to Peter.
Just because I think if you go to a tribe swap and there's a 6-person tribe and you have 2 other people from your original tribe, you should be in a great position. Like that should be a great thing. Mm-hmm. He almost went home. Like if Ty had figured out there, and he wanted to play that idol and he wasn't so attached to it, Peter could have easily gone home. Peter had no idea he could have gone home. I think socially, like Scott doesn't like him, Ty doesn't like him, Julie probably won't like him. I don't think Aubrey and Joe even like him. I think no one likes him on his tribe, and you should turn that tribe swap into a positive. He didn't.
Yeah, and this leads really good into our first comment on Twitter, so this works out. Rick Winterfeld, if Peter tried to flip to the beauties and Scott 100%, they sell him out to Joe and Aubrey, and he goes. It seems like just nobody likes Peter, and even if he tries to, like, people are just going to see him as kind of sneaky and snaky and get him out of there.
See, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. If you are Ty, Anna, and Scott, and then there's 3, brains people that have been together since day one, and one of them comes up and wants to flip, I mean, the worst thing that happens is that he's lying to you, and then it's 3-3 tie, which that's not that bad. Then I guess Ty does have an idol. You play rocks or what have you. If Peter comes up, that's like a guaranteed at least a tie. If not, you're going to get the majority. If then you go sell him out to if you go up to Aubrey and Joe, look, Peter came up to us. How do they know you're telling the truth? You could put a target on your back by going up and outing Peter. And Peter can just deny it and say, I'm brains till I die. And there's no way it's just he said, she said, and it's not as definite. So I would be more comfortable if someone came to me and I'd have to take Peter's chances.
I think this totally comes down to how bad the argument between Peter and Joe ends up being. Because if that's like a big feud and like everybody sees it and it's out in the open, then people might be more willing to be like, Peter came to us. You know what I mean? Like then they might be more willing. Or somebody like Joe might just walk over to the beauties and be like, let's get rid of Peter because he's pissing me off. I think people are more likely to side with Joe and Aubrey, or at least Joe, than they are to side with Peter.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You okay there?
All right, let's go to. Sorry, I was looking at the TV. I'm distracted. Chef, in my upset bracket, I went with Arkansas Little Rock thanks to Phil. You're welcome. Congrats on the Orange going to the Sweet 16. If they lose to Middle Tennessee today, we'll still pretend they went to the Sweet 16 because that would be sad.
They would
Revenge of Sharma.
They would be the 6th ACC team into the Sweet 16. To be nuts.
Yeah, but the Big 12 is the best conference, and then the Pac-12 is the next best, and then the Big 10, and then the ACC. The ACC is a conference, Will. You just got to get that through your head.
Oh, right.
It's just a fact. Yeah. According to the gods at ESPN,
I like the SEC. They got some great teams.
Anyway, the SEC is fantastic too. Just as long as everybody knows the ACC is the worst of the Power 5 conferences with their 6 teams in the Sweet 16. Yeah, go Miami. Revenge of Sharma. Is Ty getting a Varner edit from Second Chances? Make screen time, but an early boot. I think he's already past the point of an early boot. I mean, we're coming up on episode 6 here. I mean, unless he goes this week, I don't think it's an early boot because once you get, final 11, final 10, that's like merge time. And I don't think that really constitutes an early boot.
I think we're going to merge at 11. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's been confirmed, but that makes
sense. That's what I'm thinking.
I doubt they wait another episode to merge. I highly, highly doubt that. It's not going to be this episode. It will be the next one. And 11 is just a perfect number because then you can, if you want to do a final 2, it's a 9-person jury. And then if you want to do a final 3, it's an 8-person jury, which is the perfect number for a final 3. It's type 8. So there's no way there can be any tie. So that'd be great.
Tie. Sorry. Yeah. Jimmy O'Connor, I think Joe might be in trouble. He's visibly mad at Peter, and that might trigger Peter to flip if anyone will accept him. I mean, it looks in the preview they show Julia talking to Peter in the water. And then it looks like that might actually trigger the Joe and Peter argument. I don't know. I think that the brains are going to fall apart. They're going to implode this week. I really, really do.
I hope they do.
I just hope the Blues. I want all 6 of those players, all 6 of the players on the Blue Tribe to make the merge, and I'd like to see the Brain Tribe implode over on Yellow instead.
I'm down with that. Except seeing that Blue Tribe go to Tribal with this 2-2-2, it would be more fun to talk about. It'd be more exciting of an episode, even though we'd probably lose someone that we like more.
Yeah, I think there's 6 more talented players there than on the other side. I don't think the 6 on the other side are as good. And that's why I'd rather see all 6 on blue kind of make the merge and be able to stir stuff up post-merge. Because I think on yellow, you got people like Joe, Julia, I don't know how much they're actually going to stir it up. You know what I mean? So, like, I'd rather that tribe go and them actually have to, like, build up a little bit of a character going into the merge, so maybe we can see that they're willing to stir it up a little bit. We know everybody on blue, except Michelle and Nick. Nick totally is ready to stir it up. We know that they're all ready to, like, make moves and play the game.
Right.
God the Block, unrelated to Kaoh Rong, but again, I would like to see Nate Gonzalez. I think we answer this one a lot. I can never remember my go-to answer, but
yeah, we talk about it a lot. There's so many. The all winner season is still something. I don't think it's going to happen because it seems like so many are coming out of the woodwork for 34. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an all winners tribe, but an all winners season would just be. That's what I would want to see the most because a lot of winners have.
What's the word on 34? I didn't know about that.
I mean, there's just a lot of rumors.
Like, there's a lot of winners that they're talking for 34?
Yeah, like Earl, Mike. I think it's going to be some type of – it's going to be a returning season, likely, 34. So we're hearing a lot of names, people kind of on Twitter and stuff. I don't know. I don't know for sure. It's a lot. It's a lot of talk.
And you really want to see Heidi back. That's your number one, too. Don't even lie. That's your go-to. You want to see Heidi back.
I just would rather see her play again than Jerry.
Gotcha. Giovanni Oriana, my prediction is if blue team loses, Nick goes home. If yellow team loses, Joe goes home. I could see Joe going home. I still can, but I just think it's more likely for the blue team to lose and Nick go home than for yellow to lose and Joe to go home. Like, I think Nick is more positioned at the bottom of that blue tribe because I feel like he's going to try to work hard and people are going to see through it. And then over on yellow, I think Joe has a lot more outs.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Nick much, or at least I didn't. There's so many reasons to get him out. One, it seems that everyone who has come out of the game in their exit interviews has said he has like a fake smile and like his social skills are just bad. Like he is not a genuine person, and you don't want that on Survivor. You want to get that person out of there because they can always screw you over. And then he's like a really physically fit guy, a really good-looking guy. So he's threatening in a lot of ways. You just want to get him gone. So I think that if that blue tribe loses, Nick will go home.
Yeah, and this is, once again, Michelle really isn't playing that great of a game. It just is looking good from her edit standpoint last week. Nick is so much more of a threat right now to mess someone's game up or to go on an immunity run than Michelle, and that's why I think Nick could find himself going out because he's on a more aggressive tribe with somebody like Kyle, Debbie, Neil. Those are aggressive players. They're way more aggressive than the other side, and I could see them getting rid of somebody like Nick knowing the merge is coming.
Right.
Let's see. Giovanni Oriana, did you see the tweet where Ty showed a screenshot of a harsh statement and that Joe and Kyle were supporting Ty? Thoughts?
Yeah, I saw
They might not even have met. I didn't see it. It
was ridiculous. It was like someone on Facebook called Ty like an idiot, selfish, a lot of homophobic slurs, maybe some racial slurs on Facebook saying that he didn't play his idol for Anna and that Anna was like the goddess and all this stuff. The guy was really mad and he says, I'm going to like find you in San Francisco and beat your head or something. I don't know. Yeah, it was like, I don't think we should draw that much attention to it. You don't want to give these people any attention. You can go read it if you want to, but that's
I mean,
there's no reason to, give them what they want.
And I would say Joe and Kyle just because they're good people and they're alphas who are well out of those types of people. So I would say that's where the support's coming from without having read it. Giovanni Oriana, do any Survivor players watch your podcast? Kyle has watched an episode. We know for a fact Kyle watched an episode, but that's the only one that we know of. He watched, I don't know if he watched anything, but it was definitely, he heard me say that he had a dad bod and he commented about that.
That's awesome. Because he's like a legendary player.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, he's on fire right now.
Stop watching TV.
Giovanni Oriana, dude, I keep turning my head. Shut. Do you think next week they'll have a merge idol so that 4 idols can be in play?
What was that? I'm sorry. I was reading other comments. No, I didn't.
Yeah. I need to stop watching TV, but Will doesn't pay attention. I try to let him finally answer a question, and this is what happens. This is why I just answer my own questions. Giovanni Oriana, I didn't hear what you said at all.
Speak. This is the
Do
laziest.
you think next week they'll have a merge idol so that 4 idols can be in play? Would you stop interrupting me? My God.
I think we might be on
Did you
some
hear
delay
me?
because every time I try to talk, you start talking, and it's just pause after pause, and I have to kill the pause, but you kill the pause. It's a lazy Sunday podcast, is what I'm saying. It's like middle of the day, and we're not firing on all cylinders like we hope to usually be. But is there going to be a merge idol? I assume there will be. They're not going to have any more pre-merge. It's just the 3. At max, they'll have 4 out at one time, and then once idols are played, they'll only rehide an idol up to what point you think? Maybe when they get down to 2 and then someone plays it, then they'll rehide one? Or do you think it's when there's 1?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to hide one for sure at this merge because they want to see if they can get super idols into play somehow. Because they want to be in play and have like where 2 people could each find them. I would say after 1 idol gets used, they probably when they're down to 2 idols, I would say they probably throw another one out there.
Yeah. How about this? So we have, let's say there's 2 super idols. You know, Ty gets all the votes. He plays a super idol, or he gets all but 1 vote. Ty plays a super idol, and then the next highest vote getter was Kyle. And then he is now going out. He plays a super idol. And now we have no votes cast to anybody. Kind of like what happened in Second Chance. But that would be pretty crazy.
Yeah. That would be awesome. It would be cool to see these super idols come into play. I hope they do. How we get 1.
Next comment, Phil. Jeez.
Larry, dude, I don't know if you have anything to say. I don't know if it's just the delay. I mean, there is a little bit of delay right now. It's kind of annoying. Larry Miller, can you do an off-season podcast where you talk about each season? Like one podcast could be Borneo, another could be Fiji. We could probably do something like that. We just have to rewatch the episodes, or at least I would, because I need to touch up on some of them. But we could probably do something like that. We definitely want to do San Juan del Sur. That's like one of our big ones that we keep saying.
Yeah, that's not going very far back at all. So I don't know. Maybe that's not the best season to do. I want to watch Palau again. I want to watch Vanuatu again. I'm trying to think of some other seasons that I haven't really caught up on in a while. Those are probably the 2.
Yeah, I would Vanuatu in a heartbeat. That is such a good season. So much better than the original airing. Larry Miller, Michelle could be the next Natalie Anderson. She could play fantastic at the merge, and nobody would see it coming. This is kind of what I'm saying, though. Like, that's like another one. Natalie Anderson, that was kind of a random season, and that's kind of how this season feels, but don't really have too much of a chance to win. Somebody like Natalie doesn't get much at all pre-merge, hits the merge, and just lights on, blazes right to the end. And that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen this season. It might not be Michelle, but it could be somebody like an Aubrey. Could just come out of nowhere where she's been consistent, and now all of a sudden she really takes over. Sydney, he's been there, but like he hasn't been huge. You know what I mean? Like he's been in a lot of episodes, but he hasn't been like crazy huge. I could definitely see somebody who's a smaller character doing what Natalie did, where they just take over post-merge.
Yeah, and especially if we're thinking it's a woman winner this season because of Jeff's comments. You know, women are, you know, more under-edited than men on the show. So I could see that.
Yeah. Jim Honor, I agree with you guys. Michelle had a good episode for somebody who didn't even go to Tribal. Thank you, Jimmy, for paying attention. Larry Miller, do you think Peter and Nick will have a battle over who's the more arrogant? That'd be funny. I would like to see them actually make it to the if they ended up where they could end up on the same tribe, that would be really funny because that would just be them ever being able to work together. So that would be funny, but I don't know if they're both going to make the merge.
Yeah, just so unlikely. They're both so kind of unlikable on their own tribes that the chance they both make it. I mean, I don't know. Joe could go. Julie could go. I don't know who's going to go on that yellow tribe or that blue tribe if they do go out besides Nick. I think he's like the number one option to go. I don't know. I would love to see it, though. They would probably have a bromance.
Unless Michelle goes.
Yeah, she could. This is a season full of bromances, so that would be definitely one to take a look at.
Yeah. Chef, how are your brackets? Mine are atrocious. Michigan State killed me.
I'm actually first place in my work pool, and amongst like my friends, I'm first place too. Even though my bracket's not that good, it's just like the least kind of shitty out of all of them because everyone is pretty much. I mean, so many. It happens every year. It's not even. This probably was the craziest year, but even saying that, it's like cliche to say because we say that every year during March Madness.
Yeah. We'll see. If Middle Tennessee wins today, then that'll be cool. And Stephen F. Austin losing on a buzzer beater was heartbreaking. That made me sad. Larry Miller, MVP Debbie, LVP Peter, and then Chef one more time. You guys are so every other podcast because you are very personal with the fans. Shit on our app. Yeah, we try to be. We try to read everything. You know, hopefully nobody gets too mad at us when we get angry. You know?
I'm not angry. Are you angry?
No, it's just the Michelle thing. It's stupid. Let's go to the Twitter from the last one or not the Twitter. I'm sorry, the YouTube from the last one. What's the deal? You want me to read them?
I got it. I think. Starting
it's
with
from Dylan Peddle, I think.
Really, I think.
I read the Henry Alford. I read the Peter Rubin.
Good, you go.
All right, Dylan Peddle. Okay, if there was a future season with 3 tribes and all returnees, how crazy do you think a tribe consisting of Debbie, Coach, Tia, Abby, Maria, Shireen, and Phillip would be? There's one player on that entire tribe, and that's Debbie. I think Debbie's actually a player. I don't think she's kind of coming across as coach still, but like I don't think that she can be really lumped with. I think she's out here to win the game, and all of those people, their first time playing, Shireen, I guess, was out there to win the game. But the rest of them really weren't out there to win the game.
Shireen is at least trying to play, even though she's terrible at the game of Survivor. But yeah, Debbie honestly is the best player out of those. That would be a crazy tribe. All right, I'm right here now. So Edwin Hernandez, MVP Scott, LVP Peter. And then Gamer Girl says, MVP, I can't decide between Scott and Neil. Scott's strategy and attitude was great this episode. Neil found an idol, and he's my new top favorite this season. LVP is also rough. I guess Joe, the FBI agent. So she goes Joe there. Gamer Girl 2330. I think Sydney and Jason.
I don't know what Joe did wrong.
Yeah, I don't know what Joe did wrong. I think Peter is a really obvious choice. I don't think there's really anyone else it could be.
Yeah.
I think Sydney and Jason are going to end up being the swing votes this season. If Chandlo, look at Gamer Girl and learning the tribe name, something that we can't even do. If Chandlo ever ends up going to tribal, I can even see the Bronze being swing votes if all 3 of them make the merge jury. Yeah, I mean we talk about it all the time. The intentional Matt Singh, maybe like if you have these numbers, you become the swing votes. Gamer Girl 2330. It's okay that you didn't talk about the challenge much. It wasn't that big of a challenge anyways, but thanks for mentioning. We will all now starting to like you the most. Wow. So
wow. Finally, you win somebody over.
I think, she pretty much said she's liked you the most the entire time. That's really what it was. Mm-hmm. Then we got Vincent D.
I just want to go back to this. Wait, hang on. We read the Vincent D one. That was my rant about Michelle. But I just want to go back to something real quick. Wimmer Girl said how she thinks that the Bronze could be the swing votes here. I think if Peter goes this week, the Beauties and Brains are actually 2 really tight-knit tribes, and so is Brawn. And I don't know who the swing is there. I know that Brawn is the least, and the Beauties might go up against the Brains, but that doesn't necessarily have to be true. And I think that if this happens where Peter goes this week, Aubrey, Joe, Debbie, and Neil, that's tight. Michelle, Nick, Ty, and Julia, that's tight. And then Sydney, Kyle, and Scott is tight. I really don't know. It kind of would depend on what the interdynamics were, but I don't necessarily think the Bronze are the swings here because every tribe is kind of even. It's not like, with Matt Singh the original time, it was what, 6-5-2 or 6-6-2, whatever it was when they actually did that swap. Big difference there as opposed to here where it's going to be 4-4-3 maybe.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? We go to a merge and it's not 2 alliances, it's 3 alliances, and they kind of rotate and they bounce back and forth, kind of like voting blocks. And we see kind of pre-voting blocks because the season was filmed before Cambodia or Second Chance. So that would be fun. I would love to see something like that, where it's just kind of constantly dynamic, but you're still keeping with the original tribes. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Go ahead. I think we're on to
We got
Benjamin.
Isaac Escobar tie for MVP. I think we gave it to Neil, right?
Mhm.
Benjamin LaFleur, I agree with Phil that Michelle will overcome all the odds. I think that is why they played up the All Girls Alliance so much. I don't know if Michelle has that bad of odds right now. I mean, like, this isn't the worst spot. Anna was put in a way worse
Last
position.
week, though,
Last week,
they did show her as being somebody who was on the outside. Yeah.
right. But now that, a beauty has just gone, now the brains are, they have the most people remaining in the game. I think she is in an okay position. I mean, Nick, Michelle, Sydney, and Kyle, they could now team up, and they can just knock Neil or Debbie out of the game. I mean, just knock down a brains number. Then you're down to, like you said, like a 4-4-3 merge. So that is entirely possible.
Mm-hmm.
We got Zach Abrams. Do you think the Final Four could be this, and if this is a good comparison to what it could be? Neil, like Earl, because he was very smart yet boring to watch. I don't know if Neil is as boring as Earl, but I also never found Earl that boring either, because I like when people are smart and strategic, and they don't have to be like this huge, larger-than-life character to be entertaining. I think if they just explain their strategy and they're good at the game, I find that entertaining. I know most people might not, like the general fans of the show.
I do understand that comparison, though. I like Earl, too. I thought Earl – like, I know he wasn't a lot of fun, but I liked Earl, and I do understand the comparison between Neil and Earl there. Because I like Neil, too, but I could totally see that.
Okay, and then we have Sydney as Cassandra because she is very likable. I don't know. I think Sydney is just more of a player. She's just more in tune with what's going on around her. Cassandra just kind of followed to the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then Peter,
very
dumb and arrogant. I guess he didn't mention Ozzy, but it's clear he's going for the I-24. Or no, this is Fiji. I'm getting on. It'd be Dreams. Very dumb and arrogant. I like Dreams. I think Peter is way more arrogant than Dreams was, but I can see the comparison.
Dreams was harmless. Peter's harmful. That's the difference. Like Peter's like Dreams never meant anything by what he was doing. Peter's like dangerous, arrogant. You know what I mean? Like where he's like, I don't know. He's way more of an ass. Dreams was just kind of like uneducated. That's really what it came down to. You know, like that's really what it was. He's not a bad guy. He's just uneducated. Peter like is one of the most educated people to probably ever play this game, and he's like an idiot. Like
exactly.
So
and then Ty is Man. I mean, those comparisons keep coming. The Ty Man thing is talked about everywhere, even though they are very different.
I mean, he is playing like seriously. Yeah, but he's playing very similar. Not very similar, but the way he's so likable. He's looking for the idol. You know, he's making his way in with everybody. Like, and he comes in with a really big disadvantage just because he's got the accent. He's different than everybody else.
And he's a
big
provider.
disadvantage in Survivor. That's a reason to vote.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, they know the land and everything, all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love Ty right now. Ty's fantastic.
All right, now we got Breaking Lost Thrones. You guys are overrating the season. It's been average and bland so far. If this season were a woman, it'd be Liz. As for the winner of the season, I agree with you that it's going to be someone random and forgettable. I have a feeling that some undeserving female is going to Natalie White this season and ride Jason's coattails to the end and win. Prediction: the Nixter gets voted out next. I think that prediction is on point, but I don't know. I love this season. I think it's better than every tribal council. I've been like, I don't exactly know what's going to happen. It's not been obvious boot after obvious boot. I mean, with the pre-merge to Second Chance, there were a few episodes where, okay, like I'm going into this vote 100% confident Monica Padilla is going home. Or I know Varner is like an 80% chance to go this week. And we just haven't had, at least for me, we haven't had those type of tribal councils.
Yeah, and a very forgettable tribal council was the PG boot. I mean, that was a pretty forgettable one. Like it was cool at the time, but like since then, like a lot of people forget that even happened, like as early as it did. I mean, maybe we are overrating it. We are really like talking about it like in a great light, and I know we did ask rating it, so thank you for answering that question. I mean, I'm huge opinion is here by the general fan base. I know that people I talk to who watch Survivor are really liking the season a lot. I disagree that somebody's going to ride Jason's coattails to the end, and then beat Jason, because I think Jason, if he plays as strong as he can, I think he'd win it, because nobody who's left in the game dislikes Jason right now. So like I think that if he gets to the end and he plays a strong game to get there, he wins, as opposed to when Russell got there, people already hated Russell. And he made people hate him. Nobody dislikes Jason right now because all the people who disliked him are out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a long way to go. I mean, he is time to make people hate him. If like he makes aggressive moves and is cocky about it, rubs it in people's faces, if he plays an idol, something like that. I mean, there is time for him to burn bridges here. It is early, but so far so good for our boy Kyle, Jason, Sarge. Okay, we got Tiny, your host. We have Neil MVP. Find the idol prior to merge. Andy's in good shape. I agree. Anthony Beam. I called it last week. Anna would go home because I said I liked her. I was hoping she could be the next Parvati, a young, smart, hot woman who could dominate, but guess there can be only one. I hope Jason takes over and wins. We have a lot of Jason fans, it seems. Like Breaking Lost Thrones, it seems like the whole coattail thing, he's kind of saying Jason's going to be the one actually playing the game and doing the dirty work. Anthony Beam is now hoping for Jason to take over and win. So that's
I'm glad people are liking Jason though, because I do think he's a good character, and I do think he's a good player, and I'm glad people aren't just like immediately jumping on hating him because of how he was portrayed in like the first 2 or 3 episodes, because the knee-jerk reaction and then they just hate him the entire time. I think Jason, the talented player at this game, and I don't want to see him be hated strictly because of the whole Alicia incident.
Right. We have Giovanni Orellana. I think the 6th episode boot recently has been someone who isn't too important to the story of the season, like Joaquin and Worlds Apart, and Alexis from Cagayan. So I think either Joe or Nick will go next. I kind of feel that way. Like right before the merge, you kind of shed some fat, just a player who hasn't really gotten much. I could see Julia being included in this. Not that I dislike any of these players, but we haven't seen a lot of Nick, haven't seen a lot of Joe, haven't seen a lot of Julia. So, I have Aubrey at number 1. I put her there for her position, but she would be someone we haven't seen that much of her. Someone who kind of has that limited edit does tend to go in these spots.
And I think that Nick, I would be like almost least surprised, because like I said, all of a sudden he's in the previews, and we really haven't seen much of him at all this entire season. And now he's in the previews. It's like, whoa, where the hell's that coming from?
But
so like that's kind of what happened with Joaquin too. Joaquin was visible and he was funny, but he wasn't huge to the overall storyline of the game. And then he's huge and he goes. But go ahead.
Yeah, I just think the whole preview, that is just all for Debbie. I mean, we barely hear Nick talk in that preview. It is all Debbie talking about his angles and how he's a Greek god and all this. That's coming from Debbie about Nick, and then they have to show what Nick looks like, obviously. This older woman is flirting with this, young buff guy out on an island. Like, it's interesting TV. I think this has so much more to do with Debbie than it does. We need to build up Nick at all. So I still wouldn't be surprised if he goes. Not at all.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't either. Okay, so then on this video, you have that up? Because I don't actually.
Yeah, I'll have it up in just a sec.
If we can actually, my internet won't load it. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, beep, boop. Oh, good. We have 5 comments. I know Gamer Girl is excited because she could watch live today.
Oh, good.
That's good. Yeah, because, hey, East Coasters, we finally threw you guys a bone and, didn't make you guys wait till 3 a.m. to watch us.
Except we didn't tell anybody, really. It's kind of spontaneous.
It was very quick. It was like, wow, we got a lull in games. Let's do this. Gamer Girl 2330, I got it up, so I'll just do this. Phil is 100% going to hate this idea, but it's worth putting out there. Do you think they would ever do a Survivor season of Survivor contestants versus Amazing Race contestants versus Big Brother contestants? I would include a 4th tribe of face-off contestants, but A, I don't think they ever do 4 tribes again, and B, face-off sadly isn't part of the CBS reality family. Still want to see some face-off contestants on Survivor, though. I honestly wouldn't hate that idea. I wouldn't be surprised if they ever did it further down the road because Big Brother has been pretty good to them. Natalie Anderson's a likable winner. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did it at some point. I'd rather they didn't and just kind of they can sporadically throw in their Amazing Race or their Big Brother players in there. I wouldn't love to see 3 tribes at worth.
Yeah, the problem with that would be if you have a Survivor tribe, a Big Brother, an Amazing Race tribe, and they're all playing Survivor. I mean, the Survivor tribe, they would be the instant targets. Like if there was ever a swap or a merge, they'd be like, oh, these people have played the game before, let's get them out. So that's kind of the big problem with it. I don't know. Maybe you could do Amazing Race versus Big Brother and just have it be all newbies to Survivor. That I think I would enjoy more than including 6 people who are immediately going to get screwed.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think they'd be screwed. Voice of Silence. How big are the chances that Ty will play his idol on Julia if the overall beauty numbers, even with Brain? I don't think it's high. I really don't.
I was thinking about it, though. I don't know. There's a chance. It's weird because we saw Ty had this great relationship on that beauty tribe with that Girls Alliance. They really liked him. He was getting along with Caleb. But we never saw a specific interaction with Ty in anyone individually, like any one of the girls individually. I don't know if he was more, better friends with Anna than he was Michelle or than he was with Julia. So maybe Ty and Julia are super close, and he and Anna were never all that close, and so he plays it for Julia instead. I mean, that wouldn't be a smart game move. If you are going to play the idol for someone, do it on Anna, and then you have Julia in the game and Anna in the game instead of waiting. But if he's an emotional guy and he really has a connection with Julia and thinks, she just had to live on the Brawn tribe alone, she's going to be in terrible shape, and he wants to comfort her and save her, maybe he would do that. But I don't know if they're even that close.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't think he's going to need to be honest. I mean, I keep talking this up. I think the brains are imploding here. I mean, you got 2 very stubborn people in Joe and Peter, and I think that they're going to turn on each other. I just think it's going to happen if that tribe does it. And if not, they're going to hit a merge, and Ty's only going to use the idol for himself post-merge. Zach Abrams, do you think the winner could be like a Kim where it's pretty obvious, or could it be a Natalie from Samoa where they don't get a big edit, pull it out of nowhere? I think somebody's going to pull it out of nowhere. Because the people who are getting the huge edits just don't feel like winners to me.
Like a Sandra.
That's what I keep saying.
Yeah.
That's what I keep saying, man. I don't think the people who are getting the huge edits are winner types. So I think it's going to be kind of like a surprising one. Unless Neil gets it. He's got the winner vibe, but
or Michelle. Her edit is amazing.
Yeah, but she would I still think Michelle would even be an out of nowhere.
It could be.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
She's played I would say Michelle has played a top 5 game of all time so far. Top 5 of all time.
I'd put her at number 1, honestly.
Would you? Okay. Over Baylor. So you would put Baylor 2 and Michelle 1?
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Baylor fan still. Anyway, Gamer Girl 2330. So we're going to get people who are like, why would you guys say that? How could Michelle play the best? Anyway, Gamer Girl 2330. Joe's just my least favorite. That's why I voted him LVP. By the way, at first, I could never decide who I liked most out of you two until recently. I guess it's you, Will. I don't feel like I dislike Joe. I just feel like Joe's he's there. He's just kind of there. I think that's all it really is.
We haven't seen much of him. I mean, he just had a fight with Liz and kind of seems grumpy. I don't know. There's not much there that we can grab onto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think he has been relevant. He's been involved in everything. It's just he hasn't gotten really to talk too much about it. And then Voice of Silence. Sydney is not as Cassandra, Sheree, and Tasha. I could see that, but she doesn't have the fun. I feel like she's a lot calmer. I definitely could. I don't see the Sheree thing either, though, because is she that strategic? She's kind of. I guess she does have the anyone but me strategy right now because she got Jenny voted out. She got Darnell voted out. 2 people that she said she really liked.
I think
so
she's more like
that
Sandra,
more,
honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Except probably won't yell as much. I don't know. She's playing really well. Is that it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like where Sydney's at. I think that's it. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, do you have anything else? I don't know what else we'd have to say.
I guess we'll just say go Miami. We're playing Villanova. on what, Thursday or Friday? We don't know yet. Thursday. Cool.
No, it's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
So we're gonna end up saying go Miami again on Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then we won't talk anymore about it. All right. Enjoy the week until we see you guys Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe.